Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. My name is Gonzii and today we're going to be reacting to another casual geographic video called The Biggest Mistake a Lion Can Make. So yeah man, let's go! I just gotta tell you, 95% of you guys are not subscribed to the channel. So do it! Just click it, bro. It's just a button. It's red, bro. It's right there. Click that. Thank you. Love you. Get it.
You know what? Before I tell you, I'm just gonna show you.
Oh damn. Oh! What the heck,
Explain every
bro?
way that lioness f***ed up. The average male murder horse can tip the scales at 3,500 to 5,000 pounds.
That's a
But the
lot
biggest
of
ones
weight.
can come in at 9,000 pounds. Or 4,082 kilograms for the non-Americans watching this. Hippos have a bite force of close to 2,000 pounds, strong enough to divide a crocodile in half.
Whoa.
Not an exaggeration, it's actually happened. And hippos are one of the most homicidal things to ever have a heartbeat. And for something that most people think is a vegetarian, I've seen them take antelopes off the census for no reason other than malicious intent. Not to mention every year they turn at least 500 people into a tiny section in
They
the
kill more
newspaper.
people than
Put it
lions,
all
bro.
together and you get a freight truck with an overbite and roid rage that can literally outrun Usain freaking Bolt and turn Simba
Yep.
into an orphan even faster. The only times you'll ever see a lion run a fade with a hippo is if the lion is starving and desperate, or if the hippo is injured, sick, or a light breeze away from becoming just a body. Other than that, a lion wanting smoke with a literal tank with teeth is just a Hannah Baker mission. Also, graphic warning, if you have a sensitive stomach, this is your cue to hide in the comments. This lion tried to test the hippo's hood and got her jaw snatched instead. And if
Damn.
you're a lion and you hunt other animals for a living, getting crippled by
That hippo
means you can go and
snatched
hunt
his
hunting
jaw,
because
bro.
If you can't hunt, it's really up for you.
Yep.
Moral of this video.
Damn.
Hippos are like STDs. Nobody should be f***ing with them.
That's a fact.
I have officially
A leopard seal is a
You know,
menace,
that actually
bro.
reminded me of a really messed up fact. You know the leopard seal, right? The op of happy feet? The biggest threat to a penguin's way of life. Ask them where they want to eat, they'll say Popeyes. Yes, they eat penguins, but we already knew that. But you want to know what else they eat? You'll never guess it. Seriously, I'll give you time to comment, but you won't get it. Apparently, leopard seals have been known to hunt and eat platypus. And the ones in Australia have been recorded catching and murking live-action Perries. That is a crossover I am just not
Bro,
really
not the
right now.
Perries,
Honestly, it's
bro.
bad enough that this is probably the first time a lot of people are hearing that this thing's found in Australia. Some of these steroid seals end up wandering all the way up to Tasmania and Heron Island.
Damn.
It's an island in the southern part of the Great Barrier Reef, which is how the leopard seal can end up in the same area code as this duck rabbit. Also, they can grow to 12 feet long, weigh 1,300 pounds, and one ended a person's life after mauling her and dragging her underwater.
Oh my
Leopard seals
God.
are a menace that nobody has the balls to really acknowledge.
Bro, leopards, the war crimes the leopard seals commit on penguins is different, bro.
I wasn't edited. That's really what they sound like.
Damn.
This is a muntjac, but for obvious reasons, most people know it as the barking deer. This barking Bambi is found in Asia in countries
Beautiful,
like India,
bro.
Sri Lanka, Vietnam, and the forests of Indonesian islands. Muntjacs will scream when they're scared or to tell other deer where they are in case they lose them in a dense forest. It's like if you lost your mom at a store and just screamed like a banshee until she found you. They'll also stomp on the ground while barking in order to look more intimidating, which, you know, probably would work if they weren't like 2 feet tall. But like any
They're
physically
so
challenged person,
tiny,
they
bro.
overcompensate, and this deer will cut you. Muntjacs have fangs sharp enough to shank anybody
Damn.
who underestimates just what a deer with short person complex can do. They've even been known to run fades with dogs and send them to the vet.
Yeah, beautiful,
Also, like
though.
surprisingly most deer, the muntjac isn't a herbivore. They'll eat grasses, herbs, and berries, but they'll also hunt and eat small animals and bird eggs. Also, fun fact, actually really, I don't know how this is possible fact, muntjac has less chromosomes than a fruit fly, with males having 7 and females having only 6.
Damn.
Friendly reminder, we have 46. So, we have a 2-foot-tall vampire of a deer that barks like Clifford, has less chromosomes than a fly, and the same attitude as any girl under 5 feet. This
Oh my
is
God.
nature's drunk text. This bird has a penis for a tongue, and I'm not even kidding. And it's all because of the way they eat. Flamingos filter out algae and shrimp from the water, and they do it upside down. They use their tongue to squeeze out the water and trap the food. But we found out while they do that, a bunch of erectile tissue in its mouth fills with blood and stiffens just like, well, you know.
The
And
more you
apparently
know.
being bricked up in the mouth helps the flamingo keep its head
They get
stable as it
bricked
sticks
up,
its beak in
bro.
the water and eats upside down. All that erectile tissue sits at the bottom of its mouth and runs down both sides of its tongue. So whenever a flamingo eats, on command the blood rushes to the tissue and anchors the bird's head. It also makes the tongue harder than a man watching an Olympic long jump compilation on YouTube. We've all gotten those recommendeds, and we've all clicked on them. Moral of this video.
She got
flamingos
cake,
are
bro.
really f***ing
Jesus
also,
Christ.
those aren't its knees. It's bending its ankles. There used
Oh,
to be
no.
a nearly 20-foot bulletproof serial killer whose victims included humans and hippos. Gustav was a Nile crocodile from Burundi, and scientists estimate
Gustav was a menace, bro.
well over 2,000 pounds. And with a bite force of 3,700 pounds, getting attacked by him was like getting assaulted by a sledgehammer with teeth.
Yeah.
Because Gustav was too big to hunt the usual victims like zebra and antelope, he instead put wildebeests and yes, even hippos on t-shirts. He also likely resorted to cannibalism if he was ever low on groceries. And he didn't stop there, because this overgrown Bundy gecko allegedly had a body count of about 300 people. And apparently Gustav would tear his victim to pieces and not even eat the mutilated corpse. Bro was real life stat padding. And wouldn't you know, the bastard was bulletproof, since one of Gustav's defining traits was that he had 3 bullet scars on his body. But the scariest thing about him is how he would have gone about taking your life. Like all crocodiles and alligators, Gustav would have slowly creeped on you in the water with only his eyes visible. The rest of his body would be hidden in the murky water. Then he would have slammed his jaws on you with the force of a car, strong enough to tear muscle and break bone, and at this point you'd be 50 shades of With about 60 teeth buried into your flesh, 2,000 Gustav would have dragged you underwater and death row.
Fucked up, man.
How you lived would depend on where he got you. If he managed to get a hold of your arm, he would have effectively ripped it right out of the socket. If he got your midsection, he would have disemboweled you, meaning if you didn't straight up drown, you would have bled out. And if you messed around and let him grab your neck,
arm
he would
is
have barrel rolled your
finished.
head off. Remember how I said he turned 300 people into hashtags? Considering how violently crocodiles kill their prey, it could be more, we just haven't found the bodies yet. Scientist Patrice Fay spent months trying to capture him, but somehow a nearly 20-foot assault weapon managed to avoid them every time. Gustav allegedly died in 2019, but we don't know how, why, or who did it, and we don't know how many lives he took with him. Here's a fact you didn't know you needed to hear.
Gustav was a menace, bro.
Security coconut to use as extra protection.
I knew that already.
Octopuses are one of the smartest things in the ocean.
They are.
The intelligence of a 3-year-old human. It's high-key crazy to think about. But they have no shell or armor, so some species will carry around 2 halves of a coconut to use as a travel-sized panic room to avoid predators or social interaction in general.
That's
this
just smart, bro.
said nothing, yet somehow I completely understand. Some will even camp inside coconuts just so they can catch crabs slipping.
Damn.
You know, crabs really do be getting hoed by everyone. Might be funny to us, but that's low-key a messed up way to die. Coconuts aren't the only tools that these undersea aliens use. I remember this guy? That is the highly venomous man-o-war, which is toxic enough to put both fish and people in a pack. Which is why the blanket octopus will steal the venomous tentacles of the man-o-war to use as like a melee weapon to defend themselves.
That's I never saw that one
longer
before.
than a year or two, they could probably do a lot of damage. Moral of this video: if you ever see an octopus carrying coconuts like it's luggage, you know why. No, we probably should be scared of how smart these guys are.
They are really smart, bro.
Used to live in an aquarium in New Zealand.
Inky.
And I say used to because Inky actually escaped by slipping out of his tank when no one was looking. Apparently he noticed a small gap at the top of his tank and Shawshanked his way out. Then he slithered across the floor until he found a 6-inch drain hole, which he, of course, managed to squeeze through. Fun fact, octopus have no bones or swim bladders, meaning a 600-pound octopus
That's just impressive, bro.
the size of a quarter. Inky crawled to freedom through a 164-foot pipe of nastiness I don't even want to imagine. That's almost half the length of a football field until he reached the ocean. And nobody ever saw him again. The next day, workers noticed that the octopus was missing, and I like to think it went something like this. Only reason they even found out what happened was because Inky left a trail leading to the drain pipe, but when they searched it, he was gone. Bro watched that one Finding Nemo and decided he had enough of the gimmicks. Now, I'm not saying we should be afraid of them.
Look how tiny the gap
But you can't tell me
is.
this ain't some ET shit. I can personally guarantee you're not
God.
ready for how big this animal actually is.
Jesus. Damn. That tortoise is
That is
massive,
an
bro.
Aldabra giant tortoise. The Aldabra part is because they're only found on islands on the Aldabra Atoll in Seychelles off the east coast of Africa. Giant part is because they're built like a
I want
French with
one.
legs. The biggest ones weigh well over 500 pounds and some run into the neighborhood of my 600-pound life. This breathing tank eats mostly grasses, leaves, and woody plant stems. They've also been known to feed on the corpses of other dead tortoises because of course they do. Some even started learning how to catch and eat birds like the lesser noddy. To be fair, if you can literally fly but get game overed by a boulder with cankles,
You deserve to die. Yeah,
overgrown
you
shell
deserve
jockey
it,
is
bro.
such a powerhouse that they basically have the same job as elephants. Because while looking for food, Aldabra tortoises will often knock over small trees and shrubs, creating pathways for small animals the same way elephants do. Also, they basically never die. The oldest one was a tortoise named Adwaita who allegedly lived to 255 years old. Most people believe he was born in 1750, but nobody knows for sure because he just kept outliving the people taking care of him. Which means he was alive to witness some of the worst events in human history and said nothing, because if minding your business was a person, this would be his profile picture.
Nice.
A lot of y'all
Makes
want to
sense.
know how I know so much about animals and why I care so much, so in honor of us hitting 10 million, here's 10 reasons why I am the way I am. For one, zoo books. 90s kids might remember this commercial.
Your child can visit steamy jungles, grassy plains, and the dark depths
Bro,
of the ocean.
I had
all.
No, seriously, call me
my
Ash.
God, bro.
I really did catch them all.
I had
And fun
so
fact,
many
that one
books
was the
of
first one I
animals
ever
and
got.
stuff, bro, as well,
Go
and
figure.
DVDs.
Number two, this show was basically my Bible because I watched it religiously. I wasn't allowed to watch TV on weekdays, but since this was technically educational, I could get away with it. And if you watch this show and watch my videos, you can definitely see where I get a lot of it from. Number three, this was the first game I've ever gotten. Basically, you just build a zoo, and for some reason, 5-year-old me couldn't get enough of it. Also used to set the lions free and then watch them violate the guests, so yeah. I might have been a psychopath at one point. Number four, I think I was like 7 when I got this book. I had like hundreds of animal books, but for some reason this one was my favorite. I actually lost it for like a year and a half in somebody's house in another state, and my 7-year-old mind did not know peace until I got it back. Number five, this thing. Wonder if it still works.
That's sick, bro. Bro, I was the same, man. I had everything. Like I had like a 24 collection with books and DVDs,
Basically, you're a vet
just
treating
of animals, bro. It
honestly
was
spent
mad.
hours doing it. I couldn't tell my left from right, but I could tell you how to check for tuberculosis in a camel or how to treat diarrhea in a chimp. Number 7, y'all already know who this is.
Yeah.
Number 8, I
all
also
the
got
dogs
National
as well.
Geographics for kids that I would get every month. Number 9, I once went to the Bronx Zoo when I was 4, and when I came back home, I told my mom I wanted to be a zookeeper when I grew up. And number 10, I really don't know. It's like, I didn't like animals because I had all those things. I had all those things because I already liked animals. I don't know where it came from. I was in these little animal books full of drawings when I was 3 years old, and I have no idea what made me do it. I think I was just a weird-ass kid, and some things just don't change. Thank you all for 10 minutes, and I hope all your pillows are cold at night.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate that, my boy. I remember growing up, obviously, every kid that's normal loves dinosaurs, right? Every kid. Every boy, nobody knows why. Nobody has been able to tell me why. But every kid, every boy at some point just is fascinated by dinosaurs, right? And I think that's where my love for animals came from. It's like, oh, this was the dinosaurs was the animals of the past. I want to know more about the animals now. And then I started getting all the books, all the DVDs. Every Sunday I would watch wildlife on channel 3 here in Portugal, for the despair of my brother and my sisters, because they hate those type of things. But being the oldest, bro, I get to choose one thing. I'm watching that, and unless it was bugs and birds, bro. Bugs and birds were never my thing. I loved the crocodiles, bro, because they were the more dinosaur-y like. Basically, if your animal had teeth and ate meat, I loved it, bro. Pause. But yeah, guys, another phenomenal video by Casual Geographic, man. Bro is a goat, man. It is what it is. I hope you had a phenomenal weekend, man, and I hope you achieve something this week. If you don't forget, you always have next week, man. Go a day at a time. Focus on you. Get better with yourself, and things will start falling in place. Don't worry about it. But never forget, keep God first. Drink water. Go hug your mom and your dad. Tell them you love them. And if you're here, you know what to do, man. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. My name is Gonzii, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Goodbye.
I've been through this, been through that, reminiscing on my past. I found bliss in the way that I carry on my back. Let my soul sing my song. It goes, ooh, na 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 na.